With AutoCAD's large collection of tools and preferences, we need a way to keep track of many common drawing settings. This is where the status bar comes in. The status bar is located at the bottom of the screen, where it displays information about the drawing environment and gives us a visual way to monitor important drawing settings. Let's take a look. On the far left side, the status bar displays the current location of the cursor. As I move the cursor around on screen, you can see those coordinates are changing. Next is a row of icons that identify the state of several drawing settings. These icons represent toggles that can be used to turn settings on and off. If you hover over an icon, AutoCAD will tell you which setting the icon controls. The tooltip also includes a keyboard shortcut that can be used to toggle the setting. The icons that are light blue are in the on state. The ones that are gray are turned off. To show you how these work, I'm going to click the grid toggle once to turn that setting off. I will then click it again to turn the grid back on. Now, we'll be talking about several of these settings as we move throughout the Essentials course. For right now, I'd like you to turn all of them off with the exception of grid and transparency. This way, as we run through the tutorials, your AutoCAD should function similar to mine. Later on, as we discuss the individual settings, you can make the choice of which ones you'd like to use. For right now, let's just limit ourselves to these two settings. Moving down the status bar are some buttons that allow us to switch between open drawings, move from one layout to another, or jump back and forth between a layout and a model space viewport. Further to the right are icons related to annotation. This one shows us the current annotation scale used to size things like text and dimensions. Using the buttons to the right, we can control annotation visibility or assign multiple sizes to annotations. There is also a workspace menu down here, offering yet another way to switch between workspaces. I'm going to press Escape to close this menu. The padlock icon will lock the interface to prevent interface components from being moved. If I click this, you can see there are several levels of locking. I'm going to hover over all and choose Locked. And at this point, I can no longer drag panels out of the ribbon. Likewise, if I clicked and held on the handle here on the command line, I cannot drag this to a new position on screen. Generally speaking, the interface is completely locked down. To unlock the interface, I'll come back and click the padlock. I'll hover over all and choose Unlocked. This icon controls hardware acceleration. If you're using a quality video card, I would encourage you to click this toggle and turn hardware acceleration on, as it will give you much better performance, especially if you decide to work in 3D. That being said, if hardware acceleration is already turned on your system, and you've been experiencing some screen flickering, sometimes turning the acceleration off can clear up the issue. I'll press Escape again to close this menu. This next icon represents that we're working with a DWG file that was created using an Autodesk product. The light bulb icon identifies object isolation, and it can tell us if there are any items currently hidden from view. Finally, on the far right is the Clean Screen button. If I click this, it will eliminate much of the interface, providing a full screen view of the drawing area. This is a nice tool to use when you're meeting with a client to discuss the progress of a design. Once again, I'll click Clean Screen to bring the interface back. Note that you can also toggle Clean Screen using the keyboard shortcut Control-0. In many ways, the status bar is like the dashboard in your car. With a quick glance, you can easily get information about your drawing environment, as well as the current state of several common drawing settings.